ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಗಿರಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅಂತ. ವಿಸ್ತಾರ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ದು ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಡಿಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಗೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾನೆಕ್ ಬೆಹರಮ್ ಕಮ್ದಿನ್, AVP ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೋಡ್ರೇಜ್ ಏರೋಸ್ಪೇಸ್. ಅವರು ಈ ಏರೋಸ್ಪೇಸು ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ದು ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇದು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ವಿಷಯ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಇವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Welcome, sir, to the studios.
Thank you.
You know, my first question would be about now that the aviation and defense have returned to normalcy. How do you see your company? For example, will this be a Godrej Aerospace 2.0 kind of strategy from now onwards, post-COVID?
2.0 has become a buzzword. I won't call it 2.0. It's more of continuation from where we left in 2019. We are into three sectors: defense, space and aviation. Defense, even during the COVID times, we continued serving the country with whatever we are doing in defense in terms of systems for missiles and other technologies for LCA, what we are doing. And the business was growing good even during the COVID times. Space had a little bit of drop because the number of flights were reduced, and we manufacture all the liquid propulsion engines for ISRO since 1985. So that took a bit of a beating, but now with space opening up and the flights coming back to normal, we see a good amount of growth in space. Aviation sector took a beating worldwide. All the aircrafts were down. We were not traveling. Nobody was traveling. So like any other partner of aviation industry, we suffered. We are into serving OEM partners like Rolls-Royce, Safran and Honeywell, GE Aviation. So the mix of wide body and narrow body engines what we service, and parts for that, components for those aero engines. And that took a beating during the COVID time, but now things are coming back to normal. We see schedules going up and things coming back to normal somewhere between 2023 and early 24 for aviation sector. Space, we heard the news about HAL and L&T taking that big order yesterday. We are part of the consortium, so engines will be supplied by us. Like how we are doing it to ISRO, we'll supply to this new partners. So the journey continues over there, and we hope to grow and work with some new startups also. So a lot of things happening in the industry, and we are following it up, trying our best to stay with the race.
So what's the kind of work do you do with ISRO? I mean, any specifics?
ISRO, our journey started in 1985 when we started making some components for the control systems of the satellites. And then came the Vikas engine. Vikas engine is the engine which propels our PSLV and GSLV into space. So we started developing first the Vikas engine along with ISRO, and then manufacturing it till today along with our consortium partner MTR. We have finished close to 150 engines for ISRO.
Okay.
Then came the phase of cryogenic, where we partnered again with ISRO. We developed two engines, CUSP engine and C20 engine. And that was followed by semi-cryo. So currently what we are developing with ISRO is the semi-cryo engine. So designs of course are with ISRO. We are the manufacturing arm. So methoding, tooling, converting the designs into manufactured product is what we do.
Any foreign space manufacturers? I mean, like ISRO, you have any other
Not yet.
collaborations?
We are trying to work with Airbus, Lockheed Martin, but things are not yet moved ahead. We are trying to work with these two OEMs especially and following it up, because now with space opening up and more privatization happening, this could be the next phase, and people are really looking at those offsets happening because they have large offset obligations. So so maybe that will be the next phase of growth and what we'll get in our country.
If I see HAL, they do A320s doors, almost everything. Earlier it was one out of two. Now I think they do all of them. So when it comes to Godrej Aerospace, are you into something like that, or do you supply parts too?
we are into engine components, as I said. We are not into the large body parts or the fuselage parts. So we are into engine components. So we supply certain almost 400 type of components to Rolls-Royce, around 100 type of components to GE, and the numbers are growing every year. There are certain parts where we are 100% suppliers to these OEMs worldwide. So normally they split the order into one or two parties, but on certain parts we are 100%. So that shows the maturity of the business. And all our processes in aviation are NADCAP certified. So that's what brings work to us, and we have good partnership with Rolls-Royce. We set up the whole Center of Excellence for Rolls-Royce in 2017 at Vikhroli.
What I understand now is that whenever there is a large order or whenever a new engine is being developed or a variant, almost all the vendors are in fact part of the entire discussion right from the beginning. So how does it work out for you?
So we are not the tier one as yet. We are more of partners after the development is over. Most of the development happens in UK and US, where they have their own what you call supply chain. And after the things are developed, they move to. But Honeywell and some other people have shown some interest in developing things in India. We have one discussion with them. So things will move ahead in that direction. As you know, we are not the designers. We don't design. We are built to print as of now. We have taken 2 projects on build to spec along with HAL and ADA, the DRDO lab. So 2 projects we are doing for Indian defense for the LCA program, and there is where we are designing along with our consortium partner called Zeus Numerics in Pune. So he is a startup coming out of incubation from IIT Mumbai, and now they have an office in Pune. So they are the designers and we are the manufacturing partners. So for Indian defense, we have started working on build to spec, but for all the international OEMs, we are build to print. So we do not design anything.
Boeing and Airbus have around $1 billion sourcing from India as far as components are concerned. So so where do you see yourself growing in that kind of value?
See, Boeing and Airbus don't make engines.
They don't make engines, but I'm talking about.
So we are in fact a gold partner to Boeing because of our efficiency, our quality, and our just last month we got a certificate from Boeing on being a gold partner. So we are preferred partners with Boeing, and we see that as the airline industry grows, we will also be growing with them. Airbus, of course, is with Tata's, and we are working with TASL for the aircraft which is being manufactured in India, the C295. So that's where we are partnering with them. We just finished audit with Airbus and for that particular aircraft. So now we will have to get the work started.
When will you scale yourself to become a tier 1 manufacturer?
First, we work with Indian defense. We work with the HAL to become tier 1s. We start our designs. So we have to get into design. We have to make our small design team. Work with various Indian partners, so like Zeus, who is one of them, to get into design. And that's where you get that maturity. So it will take about 2 or 3 years to move in that direction.
So will more investment come into the kind of work in the kind of business that you're doing?
See, in the build to print category, if you look at aviation, definitely we plan to grow at least 3 times in next 3 years. So doubling every year, that's what we are aiming. So we reach somewhere around 200 crores by the end of 2023-24. That's what we are aiming at. As far as space is concerned, we continue with ISRO. We are trying to work with couple of startups to get them into the maturity level. So a satellite propulsion system is something which we are very much interested in and want to develop ourselves. So that's what we are working on. And there's a huge opportunity in defense with so many items getting indigenized and Atmanirbhar Bharat of our Honorable Prime Minister. So we are working very closely with MOD, with IAF to work out various indigenization, whether it's in maintenance or in new product development.
So in those areas where you're not there or you're not entered that sector, would you like to go ahead and get into an acquisition phase?
We are not looking at acquisition as of now.
Why is it that you think that you would rather scale up your own
We will
operations?
scale
and
up our own operations. There is huge opportunity available, and we do not think acquisition would be right at this point of time.
Are there any challenges in terms of policy initiatives of the government? We did talk about Atmanirbhar. And do you think it's necessary to revisit some of these as far as ease of business is concerned? My next question I would tell you right away, is about indigenization and how certain parts are now have to be done only by Indian vendors. But if you can sort of answer to the
See, the policies are coming every day, so there is very nascent to comment on the policies of the government of India, and things are changing daily. So I wouldn't comment on that as of now, nor I'm in a position to comment on what government of India is doing. But what we are focused on is platforms. What I would recommend is we should focus on technology. So, what kind of sensors are required, or what kind of actuators are required, and those will be utilized in across the platforms. Then the private industry would be more interested, because that's where the scale will come. So, if you are just talking about aircraft and you are saying khali LCA ke liye tum banao, then it is difficult. But if you say this sensor will be utilized across the platforms, whether it's in Navy or it's in aircraft or it's, and I'm going to develop this sensor in India, that's where the scale will come and private industry will, work much better. So certain areas it has happened, certain niche areas we need to really focus on technology. And second is the machinery. Today, most of the good machinery is imported. So we really need to look at policy on machine tool building in India, so that we really become Atmanirbhar. Otherwise, all those things what are being manufactured are manufactured on foreign machines. And we are still danger someone putting sanctions and we don't get machines to manufacture defense. So that's a policy which I would recommend to be looked into.
So now coming to the new list of 790 components which the government has released and subsystems that will come under a phased import ban. How much of that business will come to Indian vendors? I mean, all of it will obviously come, but when it comes to Godrej Aerospace, where does it stand there?
See, each one will have to focus on what they are good at. So what we are focusing is more on the LRUs, that is the replacement units like cylinders, actuators. That is what we are focused on. Second is some platforms like reconnaissance pod, which IAF wants to indigenize. Then landing gears for either helicopter or aircraft. So these are the areas we will focus on. You cannot focus on across the board. I mean, it's very exciting today. Everyone is wanting to do a lot of things. Everyone wants to take whole of 780 and do it. But I think it will be amateurish to think that we can do everything. So where we are, we want to focus on that. Build on design component. So we want to become designers of certain things. And that's what we will focus on.
See, it's one thing to say that now 780 products are now going to be, they're going to be a ban on imports. Another thing, whether the Indian vendors are actually equipped to handle that kind of challenges.
True.
To completely indigenize it. And
it will happen only with a consortium approach. If you ask me, neither Godrej nor, I wouldn't take names, but none of the big companies also are totally equipped with doing everything. So if we take a consortium approach, if we look at academia, startup, technology partners and the large corporates, and if we get together and form a consortium and do it, I think it is possible. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time for one person to develop everything. I mean, the large OEMs like Rolls-Royce and Boeings and Airbuses are not happened in a day. So it takes a long duration, 10, 15, I don't know how many years. So if you take a consortium approach, I think it's doable in next 4 to 5 years.
So do you think that you could be talking to a few of them and form a consortium?
We are already working with certain consortiums. We'll have to expand those things. We'll have to take the MSMEs with us.
I would like to have the big picture here. I know that when it comes to the, you are one of the key or crucial component manufacturers. So the Prime Minister keeps talking about being very self-reliant. Do you think that now we have the LCA itself, do you think, say, 10 years from now, we'll end up finally manufacturing a commercial aircraft?
Hard to say at this point of time because things have just opened up.
Yeah.
If the policies continue and we stay on the path, I think it's possible.
How long would you say? Another 10, 15 years? Or?
I am not the right person.
Because,
to
you know,
judge,
if you look at China, it's still manufacturing. It's still not actually sort of...
See, the whole thing is about the engine. How fast we can develop our own engine. We have partnered with GTRE now. We have got the 3 modules of the 50 kilonewton engine. So we are going to develop 6 modules for the first engine which GTRE has come out with. So if that engine works, that will take at least 5 years for a small engine to, you know, get into first some kind of prototype and then get into commercialization. And then will come the 70 kilonewton and forward. So it's a long way. Engine is the heart. Today, we do not have a single aero engine to boast about. And unless you have that, there's no point thinking about getting into making an aircraft. But the aircraft can be made. Engine is the heart. So if we are able to crack the engine code, I think world is the limit.
Did you also work on the Pratt & Whitney one or only Rolls-Royce?
We are working with Rolls-Royce largely and GE Aviation. Pratt & Whitney, we are trying to get something. Maybe this year.
Because there were some issues with Pratt & Whitney, right? As far as the A320neo is concerned.
But those are at the platform level. We are only component suppliers. Our components are not something which will make or break an engine as of now.
So when it comes to expansion, are you looking at other centers to set up either your center of excellence or?
So we have an expansion plan within Maharashtra only. We are moving 70 kilometers away from where we are, expanding there. Vikhroli is a very old facility and it's running out of space. Plus, of course, we are within the city, right in the middle of the city. So we are moving 70 kilometers away within the Mumbai metropolitan region. It's a large facility near Khalapur. And we are setting up a plant which is 5 times bigger than where we are today. So today we are having about 40,000 square meter area of manufacturing. We are putting up a plant which is 3 times that. And largely to look at integration of engines, because today we supply to ISRO and ISRO then assembles the engine. We are looking at whether we can be the partners if engine opens up like how the PSLV has opened up to the industry. Then we could be partners for integration of the whole engine and supplying the whole engine to whoever either HL requires it or ISRO requires it. So that's where we are shifting and not shifting but expanding into the next phase of so that will happen in next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Any plans to come to Karnataka? Are you looking at?
We are open. We are not close to anything. We run our furniture plants across India. We run our appliances plant across India. So, but aerospace is a very small business for Godrej and Boys as of now. We have aspirations to grow. And as the growth happens, yes.
You could also look at because you're closer to the...
Definitely. But today we are not that big to, expand and we will not be able to control our numbers. So, as I said, if you grow 3 times in the top line and at least 2 times on the bottom line, then of course we'll have to look at possibilities of putting up more facilities.
Thank you very much for coming down to the studios and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Vistara News, Nikhara, Janapara.